What if I told you that great writing isn't some kind of magic, that it's not about being born with a special talent, but it's really about understanding the blueprints? Well, in this explainer, we're going to hand you the keys to unlock those very blueprints.
You've been there, right? We all have. Staring at that blank page, the cursor just blinking and blinking, and you feel completely, totally stuck. So why on earth is writing so frustrating sometimes?
Well, here's the secret. It's usually not about a lack of talent. It's about a lack of structure. You see, most of the writing we do, especially for school or work, actually follows some very predictable patterns. Once you see them, you can't unsee them.
So let's dive into that feeling. First up, Section 1, we're talking about the universal writing struggle.
The big idea here is something called generic structure. Now, just think of it as a shared blueprint. When different pieces of writing have the exact same purpose, like explaining how to do something or arguing a point, they almost always use the same underlying framework. It's like a secret code, and we're about to crack it.
Okay, so we know the problem. Now, how do we fix it? That brings us to Section 2, cracking the structure code.
It turns out there are 5 essential writing blueprints that cover, well, pretty much anything you'll ever need to write. We've got the recount, the procedure, the information report, the discussion, and the exposition. Let's get to know your new toolkit.
Ready to get into the nuts and bolts? Awesome. Let's jump into Section 3 and break down each of these 5 essential blueprints. First up, we have the recount, and its purpose is super simple. It's all about telling what happened in the order that it happened. This is your go-to for a lab report, a project summary, or even just the minutes from a meeting. It's all facts, no fuss.
And the structure is incredibly logical. You kick things off with an orientation. That's where you tell your reader what was done, when, and why. Then you walk them through the record of events, step by step. You can wrap it up with a quick reorientation to summarize, and sometimes you'll add a coda at the end to evaluate the results. Simple, right?
Here's a perfect example of that orientation stage in action. This sentence tells us exactly what happened, a survey was carried out, and why, to discover how worker views influence decisions. Boom! Your reader knows exactly what's going on from the very first line.
All right, next up is blueprint number 2, the procedure. Its entire reason for being is to explain how something is done. We're talking recipes, instruction manuals, the whole shebang. It's not about what was done in the past, it's about what you can do right now. And the structure is just as straightforward as you'd hope. First, you state the goal. What are we trying to achieve here? Then you list the materials. What stuff do you need? And finally, you lay out the steps one by one. Easy peasy.
Okay, Blueprint 3 is a big one. You will see this everywhere, especially in school. It's the information report. Its main job is just to present data logically and show that you really get a topic. Think of your classic school essay or research paper.
So, the structure here is all about clear, logical organization. You start with a broad, general statement to introduce your topic. The middle part, the description, is where you lay out all your facts and data, usually sorted by category or by date. And then you wrap it all up with a conclusion that pulls out the most important bits for your reader. Now we get to the heavy hitters of argumentation. Blueprint number 4 is the discussion, and its purpose is to present both sides of a controversy. This is absolutely critical anytime you need to show you have a balanced, thoughtful understanding of a complex issue.
To build a solid discussion, you first state the issue nice and clear. Then, you lay out all the arguments for one side with good examples. Then you do the exact same thing for the arguments against it. You can finish with a coda to summarize, but the key here is that your goal is to explore the topic, not to persuade anyone.
Which brings us to our final blueprint, and this one has a totally different goal. Meet the exposition. Its purpose is to persuade the reader by arguing for one specific side of an issue. With this one, you are not exploring anymore, you are convincing. You're making a case. This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? A discussion explores both sides, so you'll see cautious words like maybe or it's possible that. But an exposition is all about persuading from one side, so the language gets much stronger. We should, we must. Knowing whether your goal is to explore or persuade is absolutely the first and most important decision you have to make.
Okay, so now you have the blueprints for the building, but let's talk about how to connect the rooms so people can walk through them easily. Section 4 is all about advanced techniques for creating flow. Great writing isn't just about having the right structure. It's about flow. The best writing links sentences together like a chain, where the end of one idea gracefully becomes the beginning of the next one.
Okay, let's look at this example. A sea breeze is any wind that blows from a large body of water toward or onto a landmass. It develops due to differences in air pressure. See how that works? The first part introduces a new piece of info, the landmass. The next part of the sentence picks up that now familiar idea, starting with it, before introducing its new info, differences in air pressure. Old info connects to new info. It's like passing a baton, creating a seamless chain for the reader to follow.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's pull everything together in our final section. Section 5, your new writer's toolkit. And here it is, your complete toolkit. 5 incredibly powerful blueprints for just about any writing challenge you'll ever face. When you need to tell what happened, you'll grab the recount. To explain how to do something, use a procedure. To lay out the facts, it's the information report. To explore an issue from all angles, use a discussion. And when you're ready to convince someone, you'll choose the exposition.
So, the next time you're facing that blank page, just remember, it's not a blank canvas anymore. It's a construction site. You're not starting from scratch. You already have the blueprints. The only question left is, what are you going to build?